I'm going to give you this. I feel like I wasn't ready to come in and that there's nothing you could have done. It's not your fault.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell from the title above, I met with a medium and she told me some really amazing things that have helped me cope with things that have happened in my life, and also just kind of like a reassurance. And it was so, I needed to hear that. If I needed to hear anything, it was that. So I've always really been into psychics and mediums. I really love that stuff, and I've always said I wanted to go see a psychic. I saw that on the Facebook event and I totally was just like, I'm gonna get a reading from this medium. And I told my mom, you should come with me, because it would be cool to have like each other there during our readings, because obviously we're in the same family and we know the same people that have passed, so it would just feel like kind of like a double reading almost. So she came along with me, and when we got there, there wasn't many people. It was like a really small event, and there were these four mediums, and they were all at different tables, and they were over in this room and then we were over in this room. So we were eating and talking, and then we would get called over to go see our mediums. So when we sat down at my mom's reading, she was talking about some very old lady, and we validated that was my great grandmother, because she's very old. She's the only woman that would really honestly connect with us. And she also said that she was being interrupted because she could hear a little dog barking, almost like an ankle biter dog. And if you know my great grandmother, you know that she always had this little dog by her side all the time, and her name was Jenna, and they were best friends. I think she got her when she actually, after my great grandfather passed away, for maybe like a companion or something to keep her company. And she had passed away before my great grandmother did. My great grandmother lived until she was 100 years old. So the medium did say that she could see a little dog next to my great grandmother barking. So obviously that told us that they are united in heaven again, and that makes me so happy, because they were best friends and my great grandmother was lost without her. So on to my reading. So my reading came, and my mom had come with me because we're allowed to sit in on each other's, and as soon as I sat down, the woman was just trying to like tell me about what she does and how she does her readings, and to tell me not to like say anything that would give away information, so that I know that she's real. But as she was trying to explain this, she had to stop in her tracks, because she said she felt a huge, like a huge aura, or like a huge presence of something or someone, and it was like giving her goosebumps and like hot flashes and all that jazz. And she was just like, I'm sorry, like I don't usually like to interrupt my speech, but I have to tell you, there's this huge presence. And she asked me if I connected with the letter R.
Our connection that you want to go through. Wow. Wicked energy. Like, I'm just like, went like hot flash. Woo. A lot of energy, strong energy.
Growing up, I had a black lab, and she was my best friend, my everything. The dog's name was Rosie, and I confirmed yes. You know, I think I said yes, I had an old dog. And she goes, because I see this big black dog next to you, like right next to you by your side. And I just started crying. It was really like how would she know that I was a big black dog? And she, you know, we validated that was Rosie, and she said, just so you know, she's with you wherever she goes. And I was devastated when I lost Rosie. It was the most devastating thing I've ever been through. It's really one of the hardest deaths that I've had to go through, even through family and everything. She's the toughest one so far. I relive that day, that last day I saw her. So it's nice to know that she's always with me, and she can hear me talking to her, and always with me in spirit, and it's really comforting. So then she went on to say that she feels like I'm hurting, and that I'm sad, or that I'm holding on to grief. And yeah, I shook my head, yeah, because I am holding on to a lot of grief because of my miscarriage. And if you've followed me on this YouTube page, or you know me personally, you know that I lost a baby 2 years ago at 7 weeks along. It's hard, and I've always carried that with me, and obviously having infertility, it's been hard because I'm always like wondering what is wrong with me, why did I lose this baby? And so she knew that I had grief and I was sad, and I said yes. And then she asked me, did I witness someone pass while I was with other people? So the only thing that I could have thought of when I was around people when someone passed was my miscarriage, because me, Tyler, Brielle, and my aunt and all that stuff, we were in New York visiting family, and as I passed the baby, you know, I was surrounded by Tyler and Brielle in Brooklyn. We were all in the same room because that morning I woke up and found that I was miscarrying. She said, okay, now I'm starting to see like pink cotton candy.
Did you know the sex of the baby?
I didn't.
Okay. They're showing me a lot of pink around. Pink. Okay. Pink, like, it looks like pink cotton candy.
And she said, and that sign for me is that the gender was a girl. And she asked me if I knew the gender, and I said no. And so she validated that the baby that I lost was a girl. And that was a big thing to hear, because you guys know we have 2 daughters. We've always wanted a boy. We've always dreamed of having a boy. But we've always said that if we did have a girl, you know, that would just be, it was meant to be that we were supposed to just be parents of girls. So then the medium went on to just talk about how the baby just wants me to know that there was nothing I could have done to stop the miscarriage. There wasn't anything that I did to cause the miscarriage, because honestly, I've been holding that too, thinking, what did I do?
You had nothing to do with it. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't, there's nothing that you could have done. If she can give some kind of, to help you through the grieving process, that the bottom line is just there's everything is okay, and on her end, and there's nothing you could have done. Does that make sense?
She did tell me that the baby, like I said, wasn't ready. The soul came into the body and the soul just wasn't ready for the physical world. She did tell me that this baby is a Spitfire, basically. She would have been a little Gemini, and I already have a little Gemini, and I'm a Gemini, so I knew that she probably would have been a Spitfire anyways, but she validated that that baby would have been a Spitfire, and I would have had a handful raising her.
She's headstrong, and she knows where she's going and what she's gonna do, and good luck.
I felt so connected with her at that point because she was talking about my daughter. Before I went into this medium reading, I was really hoping that I would hear from my miscarriage and my dog, because those were like really important to me and things that I can't seem to move on from. So after she validated all that about my miscarriage, she said that the signal was getting kind of weak, so we moved on to the next person that was coming through. And these were kind of confusing because they didn't really make a lot of sense, but she said that this older woman was coming through, and to me that would be my great-grandmother. And she kept showing the medium something shiny, and the medium kept saying it's a diamond, or it's shiny like a diamond. It looks like it's sparkling like a diamond. And this is validating that she wants you to think of her or remember her when you see this thing shining, like kind of like when you see like a dolphin or when you see like a butterfly, you know that their spirit's around. Well, this shiny object is gonna tell me that my great-grandmother is around.
Somebody's drawn either little diamonds, but I'm hearing teardrops, but they're diamonds. Or reflective, something reflective, but they're small.
My great-grandmother wasn't a very like fashionable woman. She didn't wear jewelry. Like, it was just kind of like me. I'm just basic. I wear the same jewelry every day. Like, that's just how she was. So that didn't do much for me. But then my mom and I started thinking about it, and we have a family camp that's just right up the road. And so the camp was built by my great-grandfather, which was my great-grandmother's husband, and that's just always been their spot. That camp came from them. It's been passed down through family. The water at camp, like, it's on a pond, and when the sun hits it just right, it lights up in these like diamonds, crystals. It just looks like it's shimmering, it's sparkling, and it's called Crystal Lake because of the way it crystals, and it just shimmers in the light and the sun, and it's beautiful. So that's the only thing that I can think of that my great-grandmother would be showing us a symbol, because she always loved camp, and you know, as she got older, she couldn't go up there much because it's hard. And so I'm thinking that's what it is. I could be wrong, but I know that the sparkling is what she wants me to remember her, or when I see that, I know that she's around. As soon as we left, my mom and I were just like talking in the car and crying together, and it was a lot. We heard from a lot of people, and it made me want to see a medium again. I'm really hoping that I'll see a medium again soon. I would like to do maybe like a private reading in my home, because I always hear those are really good and like super long. These are only a 15-minute reading, and it was like, come on, I want to hear more. But anyways, to wrap up this video, I just want to say thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this story time. I know I like sitting down and just talking with you guys and venting with you guys. I feel like I have more to talk about. I don't know. I feel like stories pop up in my head, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a video about this, and then I forget, and it's just a friggin' mess, and I'm not even consistent here on YouTube. But I do like to sit down and make a good video, or at least try. I need to go cook my daughter's supper. Bye guys.